Galactica, after one season, they had done the impossible. They had created a show that was so well acted, so well written, that even though fans, obviously, some fans are still very adamant, original Battlestar Galactica fans, some are new fans and some are both. But I truly believe that you can love both shows for different reasons, and that the two shows don't have to be adversarial to one another, and that Ron Moore and company has really taken, I think, the basic premise of Battlestar and really evolved it and gone into some of those darker, more provocative areas that I think the original show would have gone in had we had a second and third year. And I can only say, I wish to God we'd had Ron Moore back then, because I had a lot of frustrating lunches with the writers, always trying to get into more, challenging character stories, which is what they're doing now. So, I take my hat off to the new company, and Jamie Bamber, I just think is doing an amazing job playing Apollo. I just think he is a wonderful, wonderful actor, along with, my God, what a cast. Would you not think that this is just an incredibly talented, gifted cast? And it's too bad James Callis isn't here, because James is an absolutely one of the most funny, out-of-the-box, amazing human beings I've ever met in my life. Anybody met James Callis before? He's just, I've seen James do a lot of other roles, a lot of other acting roles, and he's an amazing actor. But I gotta tell you, Baltar, that's James. Nobody could bring that kind of unique amalgamation of different kinds of qualities. I mean, he's the kind of guy that could go blow up 1 billion people and you still couldn't help but love the guy. He's got this ingenuous kind of innocence, like, whoops, I killed a whole bunch of people. Oh my God, what have I done? And it's got that childlike quality, that just brings that kind of evil to a new level of something. In any case, let me take some questions, because I'm sure you're dying with some questions out there about anything and everything. So, who would like to guess? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. He was talking about the fact that I was signed on originally to do one episode of Battlestar Galactica. I actually had turned down, I didn't even know what role I turned down, because back when they offered it, I was still so pissed off and angry and frustrated. And after all the hard work we had put in, and so I was in no mood to talk to anybody, to tell you the truth. I mean, I have to be honest, that was one of the most painful experiences of my life. If you've ever committed your heart, soul, and spirit to anything, and then things go in a totally different direction, you know how painful that can be. And that had nothing to do with the new show or the writers or the producers or the actors. It had to do with the decision, to reimagine or continue. And because I had worked so hard to bring it back, it was very, very painful. And I must say that I'm very happy that I actually invited Ron Moore. I produced the 25th anniversary of Battlestar Galactica at the Universal Sheraton 2 years ago. And against a lot of fans' wishes, I thought it was my cell phone. Against a lot of fans' wishes, I invited Ron Moore to come and show his trailers for the new reimagined version of Battlestar, and they had piles of popcorn in the back of the room ready to, throw it at Ron. And I have to tell you that everybody has their own opinion, everybody has their own creative vision. I mean, there's a million ways to do anything, and if you do it one way, these people are pissed off at you. If you do it another way, those people are pissed off at you. The trouble is, everybody has strong feelings about something they love. And Battlestar truly polarized a lot of people, and there was a lot of wars going on. And but my thought has always been that whether I agree or disagree, it doesn't really matter. My thought is, everybody has a right to their opinion, everybody has a right to their vision, and my God, if I've had to learn something the hard way, it's to learn that there are many ways, many wonderful ways of exploring a story. And not only mine, not only Tom DeSanto's or Glenn Larson's, there's many ways to explore a story, and that the final verdict is really with all of you fans. You either love it or you don't. So for me, I felt it only fair, being the 25th anniversary of Battlestar, to invite all the fans from 1980, from the original show, and to bring Ron Moore in. And I had never met Ron, but I think Ron had read some of my newsletters, and probably thought I was, you know, I don't know, the demon seed. And truly, I was never wanting to put anybody down. I was just stating a case that I felt very passionate about. And so again, I had never met Ron, and having a chance to sit down and talk to him up in the green room and see him face to face with his lovely wife and kind of realize, oh my God, he's a human being, and I'm a human being. And we started having this really lovely conversation. And after he went down and I watched him stand up in front of a lot of very, very angry people, and I don't blame them. I mean, we're fans, and how often do our favorite shows get brought back in a form that's unrecognizable or it really sucks? I mean, fans get violated all the time. I think this is one of those rare times when, you know, we happen to have somebody as talented as Ron Moore at the helm, and even though it's a very different show, he has created a really, really wonderful science fiction show for all time. And I just think that, you know, he was able to overcome tremendous challenges and adversarial, you know, elements to really accomplish something which I almost think is a miracle, truly. I mean, it's something I don't think has ever been quite done before, the way that they did it. But nevertheless, after watching him stand up in front of all these very angry, volatile fans, and really stand there and hold his ground and express his truth, and really in a weird way, he didn't make any apologies. He said, you know, this is what I saw. I was asked to reimagine it. I committed to something, and I can't do it halfway. I can't kind of try to make everybody happy. I have to commit to my vision of what I feel this show is about. Like it or love it or hate it. And that's a pretty courageous act for anybody to take, because that means you're really risking it all. That's like putting all the chips on the card table and playing it all on one hand. And he really had the balls to do that. And I have to tell you, I gained a lot of respect for that man when he did that. And after that experience, you know, he came up and we had a little conversation, and he said, well, if the show gets picked up, and by the way, the show wasn't going to be picked up. After the 4-hour miniseries, it was not going to be picked up. You know who really put the money in? Sky Channel. Sky Channel, which is why, remember the first 10 episodes played in England first? Well, that's because Sky Channel put in the bulk of the money, and they're the ones who made the decision, really. Without their money, the show was not going to come back. And after they obviously did that, and it was very successful in England, and then it played in America, they realized they really had something. Finally, and this is, you know, I've been on this path for so long, finally Universal realized they had something in Battlestar Galactica. I don't know why it took so long for them to get it, but they finally got it, and then fortunately, Sci-Fi Channel picked it up for the next year, and Ron said, if it gets picked up, would you be interested in doing something? And I still had to tell you, I mean, you know, it's like committing. I tell people it's like committing to a relationship. You're in love with your woman or man, whoever it is that you're in love with, and then all of a sudden something happens to them, they die or something, and now somebody comes in to replace that person. It's very hard to switch your loyalties. It's very, very hard. It's very conflicting inside of you, and it takes time to make that transition. And I can only say that, you know, I decided for the first time in my life to stop saying no to everything. I've been saying no to everything for so long because I was so pissed off at the industry, at show business. I see so much crap done and so many bad decisions made, and I almost didn't want to be in this business anymore. And I decided for the first time to say, let's just say yes to life, yes to opportunities, and see where it goes. Yes opens the door, no closes the door. So I said yes, and he invited me over, had a meeting, met with the writers, and I got to tell you, when he started discussing this Nelson Mandela-style political terrorist revolutionary, I thought, what guy better to play this guy? You know, I've been a revolutionary, terrorist, whatever, all my life, you know? I think maybe every artist truly at heart is, you know? And so before I even saw a script, I said yes. I said I would love to do that. And I was rewarded by a really wonderful script that they gave me, and really it was only a one-time shot, but he said that, you know, there's a possibility that it could continue. And so I did the first episode, and then it led to another episode 7 episodes later. And then after that I met with NBC, and they asked me and said, we'd like to bring you back in the second season and continue to evolve the character. And so I said, well, let me check my credit cards and my wallet. Yeah, absolutely, yes.